When your cat climbs onto your chest and settles there, have you ever stopped and really wondered why they chose that exact place? Not beside you, not somewhere soft or hidden, but directly on you, where they can feel every breath you take and every movement you make. At first, it feels simple. Most people assume it's just about warmth or comfort. After all, your body is warm, steady, and familiar. But if that were the whole truth, your cat wouldn't need you. Because the reality is, your cat has options, better ones in fact. Warm blankets, sunny spots, quiet corners where they can sleep undisturbed. Cats are experts at finding comfort. So when they ignore all of that and deliberately choose your chest, something deeper is happening. Something most owners never stop to think about. Your chest isn't just another place. It's where your heartbeat is strongest, where your breathing rises and falls, where your presence feels the most alive. And somehow your cat is drawn to that. Not randomly, not out of habit, but with intention. They're choosing the one place where they can feel you the most. And here's where it gets interesting. What looks like a simple, adorable habit might actually be one of the clearest forms of communication your cat has. Not through sounds, not through actions you easily recognize, but through closeness. Through choosing you again and again in a way that feels almost too quiet to notice. The truth is, this behavior isn't small. It's layered, emotional, and deeply meaningful. And if you've been brushing it off as just another cute thing your cat does, you may have been missing something important they've been trying to tell you all along. Most people believe this behavior is about warmth. Your chest is warm, your cat curls up, and that feels like a complete explanation. It sounds logical, simple, and easy to accept, but when you actually look at how cats behave, that idea quickly starts to fall apart. Cats are incredibly skilled at finding heat. They will seek out sunlit windows, soft blankets, freshly used clothes, or even the top of a running device just to stay warm. If warmth was the only goal, your cat would have dozens of perfect options that don't involve climbing directly onto you. Yet they still choose you, and that choice is where the real meaning begins. Because when a cat sleeps, they are at their most vulnerable state. Every instinct they have is built around protecting themselves during that time. In the wild, a sleeping cat is an easy target, so their natural behavior is to hide, to stay out of sight, and to remain in places where they feel completely secure. But your cat ignores all of those instincts and places themselves right on your chest, out in the open, fully exposed. That decision is not random. It's a clear signal that they trust you enough to let their guard down completely. There's also something happening that most people never notice, and that is your heartbeat. When your cat lies on your chest, they can feel your heartbeat in a way they cannot anywhere else. That steady rhythm becomes something familiar over time. It is predictable, calming, and consistent. For your cat, that rhythm becomes a kind of anchor, something that tells them everything is safe. Just like kittens feel comfort from their mother's heartbeat when they are very young, your cat may be connecting to you in a similar, deeply instinctive way. Then there is scent, which plays a much bigger role than most owners realize. Cats rely heavily on scent to understand their world. It defines safety, territory, and connection. When your cat presses their body against your chest, they are not just lying there, they are blending their scent with yours. This creates a shared identity. In the wild, cats that belong to the same group share a common scent. It is how they recognize each other and how they establish belonging. By choosing your chest, your cat is reinforcing that bond over and over again, silently marking you as part of their inner circle. And there is also positioning. Your chest is one of the most central and vital parts of your body. It is where your breathing is strongest, where your movements are most noticeable, and where your presence feels most alive. By placing themselves there, your cat is choosing the point of strongest connection. It allows them to feel everything: your breathing patterns, your subtle movements, your physical state. This is not accidental. It is intentional in a way that most people never stop to consider. But even with all of this trust, heartbeat, scent, and positioning, there is still something deeper behind this behavior. Something that goes beyond instinct and enters the emotional world your cat shares with you. And once you understand that part, the way you see this simple moment will change completely. What makes this moment truly meaningful isn't just the closeness, it's what your cat is actually doing while they're there. When your cat settles on your chest, they're not simply resting. They are tuning into you in a way that goes far beyond physical contact. Your breathing slows, your heartbeat becomes steady, and without you even realizing it, your cat begins to match that rhythm. It's subtle, almost invisible, but it's real. Over time, your cat learns what your normal feels like. And that's where things start to change. Because your cat doesn't just recognize your physical patterns, they recognize your emotional ones too. When you're calm, your breathing is steady. When you're stressed, it shifts. Your body tenses slightly, your heart rate changes, and your movements become less predictable. These are things you might not consciously notice, but your cat does. They pick up on those signals instantly. This is why your cat often chooses your chest during very specific moments. When you're overwhelmed, when you're tired, when something feels off. They're not just lying there randomly, they are responding. Not with logic or understanding in a human sense, but with instinct. Something in them says, stay close, and when they stay, it feels different. They don't just curl up and drift off. They settle more firmly, sometimes pressing their body closer, sometimes adjusting their position as if they're trying to align perfectly with you. That presence feels heavier, calmer, more intentional. It's as if they are grounding themselves through you and at the same time grounding you without you even realizing it. There's also a protective element hidden in this behavior. Cats, even domestic ones, still carry instincts from their wild ancestors. In those environments, closeness during rest wasn't just about comfort, it was about awareness and survival. When your cat positions themselves on your chest, they're placing themselves where they can sense the most. Your breathing, your movements, even subtle shifts in your body, in their own way. They are staying alert while being close. But beyond instinct, there's something more personal happening. Your cat is choosing you not just as a safe place, but as their place. That distinction matters. They're not nearby, they're not at a distance, they are directly on you, removing any space between you and them. That level of closeness is not something cats give lightly. It's built over time through repeated experiences where they've learned that you are safe, predictable, and comforting. Think about how consistent this behavior is. Night after night, your cat returns to the same spot, not because they have to, but because they want to, because it feels right to them, because it has become part of how they experience comfort and connection. And this is where many people misunderstand what's really happening. They see it as affection, and it is, but it's also something deeper than that. It's alignment, it's trust reinforced over time. It's your cat choosing to be as close to you as physically possible, not out of need but out of preference. And once a cat forms that kind of bond, it becomes part of their routine, part of their sense of normal. Which is exactly why, if that pattern suddenly changes, it carries a meaning that goes far beyond simple behavior. What makes this moment so meaningful isn't just the closeness, it's what your cat is actually doing while they're there. When your cat settles on your chest, they're not simply resting, they're tuning into you. Your breathing slows, your heartbeat becomes steady, and without you even realizing it, your cat begins to match that rhythm. It's subtle, but over time, your cat learns what your normal feels like. And that's where things start to go deeper. Because your cat doesn't just recognize your physical patterns, they respond to your emotional state too. When you're calm, everything about your body is consistent. But when you're stressed, tired, or overwhelmed, your breathing shifts, your body tightens, and your movements become slightly different. These are changes you might not notice, but your cat does. They pick up on them instantly. This is why your cat often chooses your chest during specific moments, when you've had a long day, when you're lying there quietly thinking, when something feels off, even if you haven't said it out loud. Your cat moves closer, not by accident but because something in them tells them to. And when they stay, it feels different. They don't just curl up and sleep. They press closer, sometimes adjusting their position as if they're trying to align perfectly with you. Their presence feels heavier, calmer, more intentional. It's not just rest, it's connection. In a way, they're grounding themselves through you and at the same time grounding you. There's also a layer of protection hidden in this behavior. Even the most domesticated cat still carries instinct. In the wild, closeness during rest meant awareness. When your cat lies on your chest, they are placing themselves where they can sense the most: your breathing, your movement, your state. In their own way, they are staying alert while being close. But beyond instinct, there's something more personal. Your cat is choosing you, not just as a safe place, but as their place. That level of closeness isn't random. It's built over time through trust, repetition, and comfort. And when a cat chooses to be that close, it means something deeper than simple affection.